Hello, family. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you once again for joining. And of course, we are here, my sister and myself, we are here to answer the $1 million question why on passive. And of course, today we are coming to show to you that on passive, or to prove or to not to prove, we don't like to prove to people, just to inform you that on passive guarantees best quality life after retirement. Do you know what that means? Start dropping your comments as my sister says hi. Hello, sis.
Hello, welcome back, everyone that is returning, the ones that are just joining, the ones that are subscribed. Thank you. The ones that haven't subscribed, please do consider subscribing or kindly subscribe, whichever one that is. But you are welcome. And if you are new here or you are new to Onpassive, and you are here to listen and to see what we have to say, please do be ready to join in and ask any question that you have to ask, and we will answer it. If we can't, you come back in the evening, and then there'll be other people that can answer that question. Thank you.
Yes, of course, guys, like we are saying, we just want to tell you, sis, I would like quickly to start by telling a story. You know what? When I was growing up, I always thought that when you are retired, then it's time to die. I'm sorry to say this, but then that, to be honest, that was how I felt. Then we need to share this, because in the part of the world where I come from, when people go on retirement, they really do suffer. They suffer. They go for years and years and years without having their retirement benefits. Just you need to bribe your way through and stuff. And what thing that happened, that I don't know whether this traumatized me or what, which made me thinking like this. One old man came from a faraway village to the city to follow up the retirement paperwork so that he could start earning something. And then he had nowhere to go to and so on, stayed the night somewhere near the office building. And then he died there. So when we were going to the school in the morning, we saw it was news all over the city that morning that he
Oh,
came from so and so village and he sat there, died because following the retirement paperwork and stuff. So I thought that
oh,
maybe when you finish, when the moment you retire from work, it's time to die. But it's not the case. It's just the beginning of a brand new life. It's time for you to
mm.
have a beautiful life. But then something stands on the way, and that thing is called financial difficulties. We are calling it by its name. Reason we are here, sis, go on.
Yes, definitely. That was a very sad story, though, and I think it did traumatize your heart there and your mind, even though you might think it didn't, But here, back in this side of the world, they would have taken you for therapy because of that incident that you have seen. You would have had to need sessions of therapy, but in Nigeria or Africa, we don't have that kind of thing. Even if we do, we can't afford it. So look at it. It's not just about that, not just about the trauma and the stress and the hassle that is related to them actually getting their pension, but those that have worked, isn't it? For
Yeah.
those who haven't worked so much or who weren't so educated, or take those mothers who were, majority of them were housewives and they didn't have any. So that means they live without a pension. And the same thing happens here, even here in the Western world. They tell you, oh, you were a housewife. You for how long? For the children were growing for 15 years, oh, sorry, you are not entitled to any pension. So
Mhm.
she has to, and if it's the man that was not earning anything, and or maybe was sick, or maybe due to health challenges couldn't work, the same thing goes for them. They would tell them they've not made enough nino contribution, national insurance contributions, so
Mhm.
as a result they are not entitled to any pension. And come to think about it, it also affects their social, what you call it, their access to social funds as
Mhm.
well. That means where social care, they cannot afford that. The family has to go and pay for it because they have
Mhm.
not contributed enough into the system, so they will not be earning anything when they retire. So who caters for people like that? You
Mhm.
understand? They didn't
Right.
plan to be sick. They didn't. Yes, they have to look after their children, but that means at the end of it, they have nothing to show for it. You
Yeah.
understand me?
Yeah, I know, and things like this. That's why we're saying this, because we're just trying to pick practical examples to know how important this is. That is why even you find people at some advanced age in their life, that's that age where you just need to have some rest and finally like enjoy life. But then you can't,
mm,
you still need to go do some jobs, because if you don't do
mm,
that, you will not meet up with your bills. These people they call senior citizens are people who just need to be senior citizens and have a life, and have a
mm,
life of their own, and not wake up, go to work, go do care, go work in the shops and do this and do that to make up for the family thing, which is for the retirement thing, which is still not actually being up to it. Why are
it's
we
not even
saying all of
enough.
these things? Listen, because when I left, how this has been haunting me, the story I just told, how it's been haunting me. When I went to Germany for my first time, there was sometime it came on news. You would see elderly people actually crying out tears like this, crying
Mm,
how much they
mm,
cannot cope with their bills, because what they
mm,
earn as retirement benefits takes them nowhere, right?
mm,
What is that? What kind of a life is that? But then why are we telling this? It's not to bring sadness in the morning. I know it's too early for some people now. It's not to wake up the day with sadness. However, it's bringing hope. Tell someone to tell someone to tell someone that there is solution here. There is total freedom here. There is just everything that we need to make these people comfortable. So, sis, I think you want to go from there.
yeah, yes. Many people will think, oh, but they are elderly, they are this. Look, their children, they can run it. Many of them are beginning to learn, especially during the lockdown, about how to, navigate themselves online. So if some of them can do that, if you get them an affiliate account, maybe your mom, your dad, get them two accounts or one account is enough, and then get them, both of them, to know how to, operate that account. That would be something beneficial to them. And don't forget, also, in the country here in the UK where we live in, if you die suddenly, you have to cater for your funeral. You have to
Yep.
cater for the funeral of your parents, that kind of thing. So even if you look at it, even in that line, they can also do that, such that things like that, they can make arrangement, they can have enough, to sustain themselves if they're still partners and they're alive, and then they
Mhm,
can travel, and then they have enough to eat. And then if either or one of them needs access to social care, they
mhm.
don't need to, even when they do the assessment and come and
Right.
say, oh, and you've not contributed enough, you're only entitled to this. You have, rest assured that you can cater for whatever is left, that will not be, the government will not be supporting or supplying,
Mhm,
because you have, an unpassive affiliate, you are non-passive affiliate account, you have one. If you have one, then that makes life easier for you. For those who have been, take for example, for those who have been, like I say this all over, they have been home keepers, they've been looking after children. Many at times, you cannot, depending on how many children you have and how many years gap are in between them, you cannot
mhm,
say, oh, the firstborn is 15 years old, so now you need to get into the labor market. No,
mhm.
sometimes they have some little one that comes in, by surprise, as usual, saying, oh,
Right.
I am ready to be here, whether you like it or not. So you
Right.
stay at home and look after those children, but you are not working. They don't consider that as a work, as a job, because
That's
you
a
are not
job. I know.
contributing to the system. So
Mhm,
at the end of the day, who pays your pension? You see that you
mhm,
rely on whatever your husband gets, your partner gets, whichever one of them, whatever
mhm,
they get comes to you and you both share it. But I have seen people, the way that money, they streamline it so much to pay
mhm.
their bills, such that at the end of the day, just barely every week
Yeah.
have probably like 20 quid
I
to be able
know.
to buy their shopping. And
I
that means
know.
no room for anything else. Some of them don't have enough to live, let alone
Mhm,
leave an inheritance for their
mhm,
children, let alone grandchildren. You understand me? So we need to look into those of us that have aged parents, elderly parents,
mhm.
aunties, aunts and
I,
uncles.
yeah.
You need to look into having this kind of account for them.
Possibility, yeah. So what I'm saying here, sis, to add to what you say from the angle I came, like, I'm looking at retirees here. They are not old people. I learned something in Germany. Ladies in their 60s and about 70s, they don't accept grandmother name. even though they have grandchildren, they say ich bin Großmutter, ich bin noch keine Oma, which
mm,
means I am just a senior mom. I'm not
mm,
yet I'm not yet a grandmom, because
mm,
grandmoms are those who have really gotten to the advanced age and they are
mm,
in the care home where you
mm,
turn them, you do the stuff
mm,
that we
mm,
do in the care
mm,
homes,
mm,
right? So
mm,
when you are still between the 60s and in the 70s, you'll be
mm.
not you. My mind switched because I'm trying to
And so,
think what happens
yeah.
in Germany, right? So
Mm,
ich bin noch nicht Oma, ich bin nur noch eine Großmutter. And this
mm,
is important. Look
mm,
at yourself now as a Großmutter, as a senior mother. And when
mm,
you're a senior mother, it's because she can still travel. She can
mm,
still discover the world. She can still go to the beach. She can still go places,
mm,
especially with their partners or not, right?
mm,
You
mm,
live, whether your partner is still there or not. You have age mates, you have group mates. They have a
mm,
lot of groups and stuff like that where they meet,
mm.
social groups to meet, because
Yes.
they're still strong and stuff like that. So if
But
they
those
have
things cost
calls,
money.
yeah,
They
that's what
cost
I'm
money.
saying. They cost the money, and the money is not there. They are
There,
not accepting
yes.
to be elderly people yet because they are
Mm,
still strong enough and energetic. That
mm,
moment you sign out of work, it's just like,
mm,
I am finally taking time off to
mm,
have a life. And this
mm,
is that time in the life of people, of people, where they need to now enjoy their grandchildren because they did not have time to enjoy their children, because during that time they would shuffle childcare with jobs and stuff like that. But
mm,
now is that time when they are still young. That's why they are gross mother. They are just senior mothers. They
mm,
want to enjoy the grandchildren. They feel like these are my babies.
mm,
That's why you don't joke with somebody's grandchild in this country, in this part of the world,
mm,
because they are like, oh my God. So where do you go from here without anything in your pockets? You
mm,
cannot pay the bills. You can't have a
mm,
good meal, a quality meal, because at this age they feed for maintenance. When you
mm,
cannot maintain the system, the skin that is already ripe age, what
mm,
do? Everything
mm,
deteriorates. It affects the physical body, it affects the mental body, it affects
mm,
the psychology and everything. And what happens? Life things start dwindling, and before you know it, you find yourself in your grave well before it's time, because
mm,
the stress is way unbearable. I have seen
yes.
it back home, I've seen it here, and this hassle is real. Why are we going into this? There is hope. So if you
Mm.
have a grandmom, or not grandmom yet, because they don't, gross mutter, let's call it gross mutter, senior
Okay.
mom, right?
Mm,
Let's take care of ourselves,
mm,
give them a position, tell them, explain it to them. Or if you're one watching yet,
mm,
get
mm,
one, and tell a friend to get one,
mm.
because
Even
you need to go to the beach,
even
you need
if,
to go to
if even if they can't operate it, for those that are senior, that actually at that grandmother age,
yeah,
you can operate that account for them. You can operate that account
definitely.
for them, such that they go to where elderly people go to, you don't need to start running elter skelter to any citizen, to any uncle or aunt or anybody for funeral arrangements, money or whatever.
See,
You can sort that out
you
yourself.
can't
You
you
know?
can't believe how smart senior, I don't want to call them gross mutter yet, senior
Mm,
moms, or people are very smart
mm,
nowadays.
mm.
We meet them even on even in on passive. We have seen a few.
Yes,
When they
yes.
come, just struggle a bit, you before you know it, you put them through, they're there, and they say, yeah, I made it, and that's it.
Mm,
It's just to put them through, sit down and walk them through one, two, three times, they get the hang of it, and that's it. You leave them on their own and you go your way. So it's really easy. Let's talk to someone. Let's just help a retiree or someone who is heading retirement. This includes everybody. It's not because you are 18 that you think that, oh yeah, I'm just starting life, I'm not in retirement. No, it starts from the first day. So I think one thing we should have done should have been to share from the expert perspective. There's an interview I had with Andy Bergs. When Andy goes into this from his background, you get a better, brilliant picture. However, we chose to come from this layman perspective because we just want to go straight to the point and say we know what people go through when they go on retirement. Start planning now. Hop in on passive. By the time you get there, you may be retiring at 40. You may just want to work because you want to, like my sister says, practice what you have studied in school. Apart from that, you don't badly need it because you can be a boss of your own and, of course, create jobs or impact your community in one way or the other. Even people who go out of retirement, many of them have good hearts to do a lot of beautiful stuff like doing charitable works, philanthropic jobs and stuff, traveling around helping people or just within the community. but they can't afford because they're sat here with time in their hands, nothing to add to this time they have and go out there and change lives. But then that is their heart's desires. You know, I remember, sis, before I hand over to you,
Mhm.
there's one time I had this discussion with my pastor's wife. I wish she stumbles on this, she'll surely remember. So we had a women's meeting. I was telling her that I can't just wait to retire. I will spend the rest of my time just going around and doing evangelism, preaching to people, you know, and stuff. She laughed and said, Comfort, you know what? It's easier said than done. But then if you think about this, you know, because she definitely wants to do it too, that she is not doing it, not because she doesn't want, but why? The means is
The
not there.
means
The
is
means
not
is
there.
not there because you still
Mm,
need to, you know, hit your head
mm,
around, still wake up early, not to
mm,
pray, but to go out there and do stuff to make ends meet. But
mm.
then here is the total solution hanging in the ecosystem of Mr. Ash Mufareh's Onpassive. Have a look. Click on the link. There's one in the YouTube channel comment section. There's one on the Facebook page. There's one everywhere. Even your family members who are watching here, they can give you a link and follow up. Guys, when you share this video with anybody, make sure you follow up with a link to help them have a look at our ecosystem and see if they can be part of this so that we can be together with this team. We need to increase this team of changing lives, sis.
Yes, you can see that our CEO is a genius in the sense that this encompasses everybody in any society, so it does not exclude anybody. There is no exclusion in of any kind at all, and if it includes people that are senior moms or proper grandmoms, or I call them GGs, the ones that are great grandmothers, you understand that kind of thing, and they are still strong and still want to do something, or people like my mom that they've had a tough time in their lives and they are 89 now, all they want to do is just keep it cool in one place and just enjoy themselves. I'm telling you, there is always a position. You have links, you have the opportunity for you to make sure that you come in. They come in now. If you've not thought about it, maybe one of your aunts that have looked after you, any of your uncles, anybody that is, that is either senior moms, senior uncles, any one of them, bring them in, get them an affiliate account, because you see, life never tells you what's going to happen. So that's one thing. Like my sister said, Comfort said,
Mm-hmm.
look,
Mm-hmm.
you need to prepare from now, whether you are 18 or senior moms, or what, you start from the beginning. Preparing at 18 is the best way for you, so that this opportunity does not pass them by. You don't come back and think, oh, I should have done that, and I watched the video and I was at the live, that kind of thing. Look, this is the greatest opportunity, such that if they die, even before they die, they can enjoy themselves, they can feed themselves properly, they can be satisfied with the way their own self, in the way they're living. And then on top of that, then when they're dead, you don't need to think about, oh, she didn't leave a
Mm-hmm.
will, she did, oh, how are we going to get money to bury her, where are we going to how are we going to purchase the plot, oh, this one, that. No, that will not be the case, such that you have an income that is coming. And then for people like that, they honestly want to leave things for their children. Even the Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. The ones that don't leave, not, it doesn't mean that they are not good, but they don't have the means. But this is an opportunity for them to have an affiliate account, and that account, when they go, it passes through their children or their grandchildren, such that those children and grandchildren don't lack anything. I won't say anything, but at least get their basics met and
Yeah.
beyond. You
You know,
understand me?
one of the things you were talking about, people gifting their aunties and uncles and stuff. There's a lot of people out there to take care of. What
I'm
about your
telling you, a lot.
teacher? What about your primary school teacher, this beautiful lady who was your best teacher in school, and you know that
That
where she
reminds me
is
of
now,
one of my
things are not going
teachers.
well. Yeah, sure. There's a lot we can do. And then
you
back
know,
home, back home, family has nothing to do with blood. That's why Sister Funmi and myself will identify as sisters, like blood sister, but she's from Nigeria. I am from Cameroon, right? But then that is who we are. So back home, family has nothing to do with blood. It just suffices that we were born and grown up in the same community, in the same neighborhood, we are family, you know. So there's no way this household, in the household of Comfort and their siblings, everything is going on well, and then in the neighborhood, the next door where Funmi and her
No,
family are, they're not doing
no,
well. We don't let that happen. Here
no.
is the opportunity, you know. So let's make it happen. And of course, let's talk to someone. There are so many people who have come off work. Some people retire even before time, either
Mm,
because of ill
health.
health, you know, for
Mm,
reasons of their health is not going well, or because something happened, they lost their jobs. A lot of things are happening. However, the solution is there, hanging at the back of the OES, the Onpassive ecosystem built by Mr. Mufareh and his team. So, guys, have a look, click. Who no go no. That is the mantra on this platform. So if you don't go, if you don't adventure, you will not do discovery. You will not discover. If you just stay here and you're crying to yourself, you cannot discover it. So click on the link yet, and then go in there, go into the ecosystem, see what we have, so that you finally understand what we are talking about. Or if it's questions, you need a bit more answers, drop questions on the comment section, on the chat section, and of course, we will be there for you, because we are just sharing love. We are just about to share love. This is so exciting and so good that you cannot keep it to yourself, because there's room for everyone, sis.
yes, there is room for everyone. Please, I would say it again. I know sometimes people think we're talking too much, but I don't think we're talking too much. We're not even talking at all
We
yet.
can't say
Wait,
enough.
wait till when business starts, then you will see talk. You know,
We can't
you go,
talk
you
enough
you go
here.
see talk that time. Talk go plenty tire. You know, but it's important, like you said, comfort. It's true. You have a community. It's not blood is not about, oh, the same, we are in the same. No, that's not how we look at it back in Africa, you know, that kind of thing. And even here, I still have, you see, I still have people that I, link up with, like comfort. I have other people as well that we are family as far as I'm concerned. So you don't just think about yourself, you think about auntie this, auntie that, mama this one, mama that one. Hey, can you come, papa? We can picking, you have to think about as many people. I told you for me, I saw a gardener's wife and I thought, oh my goodness, a gardener's wife. Oh my goodness. She used to do my hair when I was young. My
Right.
goodness. And she did my hair till I got married and left Nigeria. You understand that kind of thing. And I thought about, and for whatever reason, the son looked for me,
Mhm.
and he got me just about
Oh
when we
wow.
started on
Oh
passive.
wow.
Oh,
Oh, what a
I
blessing.
was so happy. I was so happy. I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I finally found. How did you find me? He told me. And I thought, okay, that an account. That was what I could do to bless them. Gave the son an account and warned him strictly, that kind of thing, and told him, like, look, it's not just for you, it's about you, your mom, your siblings, and the
Correct.
whole of your generation. You
I,
understand that kind of thing? And I
yeah.
expect that when he gets a bit more, when apples start dropping, he himself will getting an affiliate account for the siblings as well, such that they can stand and fish for themselves without depending on himself as
I'm
well.
just happy we were trying to sort this out, and then she brings the same word that we should have used, but because we were working hard doing it the other way.
Mm,
It's Ubuntu. That's just it, isn't it?
mm,
Thank you.
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu is a keynote word. You learned pigeon the other way, the other day, so well. So you want to help us. Ubuntu is I am because you are, or something like that. So that's Ubuntu that we're trying to explain here. When we practice that, when we pick that up and do it that way, then it goes really round. See who
Yes,
is
and,
we
and, I- and I believe that's
we've
what
got an
our
August.
brother and
We've got an
CEO Ash wanted.
yeah,
It's not just about you. That's why he was stressing it when we all came in, saying, "Look, I want 1,000, 1,000,000 Mother Teresa's. You can't change the world of everybody, and you can't change the world of the whole world, but you
yeah.
can change the world of
One
one
person's
person
word.
that is
Yep.
next to you." So, and we are people that are already practicing that, but even in the midst of practicing that, we still don't have enough. So this is
Exactly.
an opportunity to even do beyond what we were doing before. And I know
Exactly.
that, as many as are here who whether you are African or not, but you are someone that have the heart to help someone else. You will remember someone in your community, that
Right.
woman in your community that is elderly and poorly, and she can't go anywhere, but she's only getting a little bit of money and she's trying to sustain herself. You
Right.
remember that person and actually get them an affiliate account without
Mm-hmm.
blinking. Okay.
That's very true. Thank you, Dr. Bill Williams, for joining us this morning. We really appreciate your presence here. Yeah, of course, we're talking about how Onpassive is going to turn things around for retirees. And of course, it's been quite an interesting topic. Yes, sure, sure. Thank you, Kido. More good news on the way. All right, I had the right interpretation of Ubuntu. Yes, guys, because I want to take this back when Sister Funmi is talking about the help in the community. There's one guy exactly where I come from the same town with me. I just see it on Facebook. He goes around, he's actually a pastor. What he does is he goes around and just takes care of elderly people. You see, sometimes he goes and buys wrapper, this piece of cloth, and gives them. Sometimes he gives soap and stuff like that. I've been looking and say I need to reach out, and now it's just that time, because you
Mm,
don't need to go. You don't need to just turn around. Your neighborhood here, your neighbor here is anybody around the world, anywhere.
mm, mm,
So
mm,
it's just good news that you already have a resource. This brother is
mm,
already there doing the bit he can do. Imagine when you get this position on passive and say get more. He can go
mm.
around and just go ahead, and
And
because
do more.
yeah,
Yes.
the thing about retirees here in the city,
Mm,
back home in the cities and back here in the Western world, we have
it's
a
different.
different picture. But let's know
Mm,
that back home, our elderly people back down the village, they do retire too. It's sad that most elderly people, they live on them by themselves. No grandchildren, nobody to fetch water for them, nobody do anything. I believe that most of the time they might die of even drought because they're dehydrated because they can't go fetch water, they can't do a few stuff. You know what
mm.
it means? Just creating that community where you build a place where they
A
keep them,
borehole in the center of it where they
yes,
can
you
access
employ
water.
young people to feed
Mm,
them morning, afternoon,
mm,
evening, wash their clothes
mm.
and do stuff just to give them that befitting. I don't know if there's right word.
Yes,
Life
it is.
part of their
Yes,
journey
because
before.
that's
Yeah,
the end time of their lives. That's the
that's
night of
that's
their life.
priceless. That is priceless. So, guys, thank you, John Barilla, for joining in. And guys, we're inviting everybody to say what do you think that on passive has, is guaranteeing best quality of life for people who are on retirement. If you are planning, if you are not yet there, you are still 18, you are on your way to retirement. If you are already 49, you're on your way or about there. If you're 50, you are already almost, and stuff like that. So let's know what you think about this, because this is useful. Your comments are here, not for my sister or myself. They're just adding to the crazy stuff we are saying so that people who stop by anytime, they will know that, this is what I've been looking for, because people are actually really struggling. But then Mr. Mufareh has it all in his ecosystem. And so we can't keep it to ourselves. Thank you guys for joining. Sis, I think we should start rounding up.
Yes, and I love what you said there, where you said that it's not about just within your community, but anywhere around the world, which brings me to other things that anybody might be related, you will be able to relate to this. I told you about a community, charity that I support, but they're called Legacy for Korean Legacy. And it's like,
Mhm,
my
mhm.
heart just went out to them, and they were group. They sought out elderly people, feed them, and clothe them. Sometimes they go to the places where they're living, and some of them, how cold it is. We think we have cold in the UK. We don't. The cold is like the Toronto kind of cold when it's winter, and some of them don't have heating.
Mhm,
They don't. There was my heart goes out to
mhm.
elderly people as well. So it's like, for me, like you said, people that are already on the ground doing that kind of work, let's go together. Let's go
Yes.
and stop. We get him an account, tell him this is what is happening, get more, do more. And then people like the Korean Legacy as well, get more. So wherever we find ourselves in any part of the world, it doesn't matter whether it's your country or not your country, but you have the compassion to be able to reach out to them, then please do so. Thank you. I will
Yeah,
let you
sure.
rest.
Yeah, of course. Yes, yes, yes. Guys, this is a topic that can take You can take hours to discuss, guys. See who is here. Hi, Babin. Yeah. So this is a topic that you can discuss it over and over, and it's never ending. I think we'll come here a couple of times just to keep reminding ourselves, because this needs to be done. So if you're watching this for the first time and you think that this is something you've been looking for, even if you already have enough, you're fending enough for yourself and your children and your family, get a bit more from the ecosystem of Onpassive, so that you can reach out to that retired lady or gentleman in your neighborhood whom you see really struggling. It's about them. Today is just dedicated for retirees. Think about it. Do something about it. You have enough, either enough account or whatever you are doing is enough. Get extra for extra care, for extra people. This goes a long way. And I believe this is where we finally find satisfaction and happiness in life. It doesn't have to do with how much you have for yourself. Happiness comes sorry, from what you do to other people. I think my voice is telling me that I should shut up now and go, because it's time to go. Guys, this is a sweet story, a topic that you can be on it like forever. So let me hear. Oh, my influencers products. Yesterday, I interviewed another one who just lost their job, from executive to nothing in just days. Never a better time for Onpassive. That's very true.
That's
How many
true.
of these
That's
people do
true.
we have?
Because people are
And
losing jobs
exactly.
quickly,
Yeah.
being made redundant
Mm-hmm.
quickly. You know how many shops even are closing down? How many banks are closing down their branches? So people are
Exactly.
losing jobs all over the world.
See who got the slang, the mantra here.
Who no
Of course,
go?
guys. Who
Oh
not go,
no,
no
no
go.
go,
Who
no
not go,
go,
no go,
no
no.
go, no,
Yes. So our mantra here is who not go,
no
no go,
go, no
no.
go, no.
Which just means that if you don't look around, you will not find. If you don't search, you will not find. If you don't seek, you will not find. Go into the ecosystem and see it by yourselves. Go take I Chop Christmas, guys. You need to learn some pidgin. These ladies speak a lot of pidgin. That's where we come from, right? So
Yeah.
who not go, not go, no. So come now, go to the ecosystem by clicking on the link where you find, whether in the YouTube description box, whether on Facebook, whether on the chat. Click on it, go on it, have a look, and then that's when you finally discover who not go, no, guys. Come take Ice Chop Christmas. Thank you so much. And of course, let's keep the fire burning. See you guys in the evening. There is a wonderful, interesting topic, and we'll be having Anita join Collins and I think one more person. So both of us don't know yet who of us will be there, but then somebody's going to be there. Thank you guys, and
All right
see
then.
you.
Thank you.
Let's
See
see
you
when we share.
tomorrow.
All right,
Same
thanks,
time
guys.
again.
Same time
Dankeschön.
tomorrow. Yes,
Mm.
please. Same time tomorrow. We are here 1 p.m. England time. Thank you, guys.